Welcome back, guys. It is D-Day, so we're going to be heading down to Miami tomorrow afternoon for the photo shoot. So, wow, the last week has been there's been a lot of change actually. So, I think the most recent weigh-in that I had with you guys was somewhere in the mid 69s, and then by this Sunday, so 2 days ago, I had a massive weight drop and I was down at 68. So in the space of a week, I dropped another 1.5 kilos or so. We'll jump in and have a look at Carb and Diet Coach and all of my metrics, I guess, in a minute. But I first thought I would kind of go through, I guess, what I'm going to be doing this week as I go into having a photo shoot. So there's a couple things that are a little bit different to how I would go about this if I was peaking for a show. So if there's anybody that wants to know exactly how to go about prepping and doing a peak week plan, we actually have a bunch of that information in this really small book with all of this information. So there's actually how to set up a peak week in the complete contest prep guide. So if I was peaking for a show, I would probably go hard like this. For this photo shoot, however, because I am not as lean and I do have a little bit more body fat than I would if I was getting on stage, I don't really need to go quite as hard with a peaking protocol because there isn't as much muscle for us to see. There's less of an emphasis on me having to kind of carb up and fill out the muscle so that you can kind of see it and then it pops, because I just don't need to. It's kind of covered in a layer of fat. So what am I going to be doing this week? I'm actually going to keep my kind of fat loss macros, to be honest, right up until the day before. So for this week, I'm going to based on what the coach tells me, based on my progress, I'll probably be keeping the same macros. So the past few weeks I've been on 142 protein, which is kind of smack bang in the middle of my recommended protein range based on my lean body mass. And then my carbohydrates have been somewhere around 120, kind of as an average. And my fats have been sitting just under 40. So pretty aggressive targets. Obviously I've been taking days where I'll nail those and then days just at maintenance. So I'll do the same. There is not really a whole lot that I have to do differently. Some of the key things I think that I will be doing that you're probably more interested in are like, what about like the day before? Is there anything that I'm going to do that's completely different to my normal schedule? Yes. Generally speaking, when I'm making food choices, just going about my day, particularly during the actual fat loss phase, I want to make sure that I'm choosing foods that are really high in dietary fiber so that I actually stay satiated throughout the day and I don't go over my targets. In the instance of a photo shoot, so about 48 hours, probably a little bit on the closer side to that, maybe like 36, 24 hours beforehand, I'm actually going to reduce my fiber intake quite significantly. I'll probably halve it. And that is because I don't want to wake up on the day of the photo shoot and have like abdominal distension or bloating. Specifically, I guess it doesn't really matter what types of dietary fiber, it's just generally reducing all of it on the whole. We have two types of fiber. You've got your insoluble fiber and soluble. One of those is responsible for kind of drawing water into the GI and helping you to kind of go to the bathroom. It increases your GI gut transit time. And then insoluble fiber is the dietary fiber that's kind of responsible for giving you the bulk. And then that actually also contributes to being able to go to the bathroom and have regular bowel movements. Something that I guess helps with being adherent to your diet is that they're very voluminous and they help you feel full, but they do contribute to quite a bit of bloating because they are fermentable fibers. They're undigested carbohydrates, so they travel all the way through, and then the gut microflora that we have present naturally in our colon use that as their energy source, and then that's partly why, or one of the reasons why we have gas production. So I'm thinking specifically like methane gas and hydrogen gas. They're both byproducts of that fermentation process of the bacteria in our gut. So if you're farting a lot, it's probably because you're eating a lot of vegetables. And I think a lot of people associate that as like a negative thing, but it's not necessarily. It probably just means that you've got a pretty healthy, active, gut microflora. For this week, starting on probably Thursday, I will have a much lower fiber intake. So I'll drop that back to probably around 15 grams the day before, just so that I'm not feeling super bloated on come Friday, which is the day of the shoot. The other reason that I think it's also important to reduce your fiber intake is because predominantly based on all of the foods that I consume on a day-to-day basis, if there are going to be any foods that actually cause me to have gastric discomfort, it's because of the vegetables, but not necessarily because of the fiber content. I'm now specifically referring to some of the FODMAPs. So I recently did a video that kind of covered what to do or foods to avoid bloating. And I put together a really exhaustive list of FODMAPs on my website. So I'll give you a link, I guess, in the description to go and check that out. It talks about what FODMAPs are and how they're kind of broken down into different categories and what foods specifically fall into each of those categories. Again, on Thursday, everything that you basically see on that list are foods that I'm probably going to avoid, because for someone like me who does have a sensitive GI, it's like hypersensitivity to, luminal stretch. So it's like if you've got more fiber in there than what's normal, or you've got more gas in there than what's normal, you just have a really hypersensitive response to that. So I'll cut out a lot of those things. Probably reduce the amount of sweeteners products, and obviously that's in that list too, but I generally eat a lot of those just throughout my day while I'm cutting because it's lowering calories. So I just kind of have to get past the uncomfortable feeling on a day-to-day basis because it helps me hit my targets. So some of the main foods that I eat during the week are my Greek yogurt, and I mix it in with a bunch of different powdered products. So it's like a protein powdered product. One of our friends, Zach Rocheleau, he is, I think, known on Instagram as the Flexible Dieting Lifestyle. So he has some really awesome products that you basically just add water and you can mix it in smoothies and yogurt. So that's like a staple in my diet. But it also has quite a few of those FODMAPs, and that's going to suck on Thursday because I really love eating that. But that's kind of going to be gone. So I'll do pretty simple foods on Thursday, and nowhere near as enjoyable as I would like. But I guess, it's one day, and it's just to make sure that I'm not looking crazy on photo shoot day. The other really gay thing that happened this week was that I actually got my cycle yesterday, like 5 days early. So technically I was meant to get it on the day of the photo shoot. So I woke up the start of this week and I checked the app that I monitor on, and I said to Lane, I was like, oh my God, the photo shoot's the day that I meant to get my period. And oh my God, couldn't be the worst time. The day that I get my period is the worst day for all of the symptoms, bloating, pain. I'm pretty much in tears. But so I got it on Monday and I was at the gym. So Monday is the only day that I do my HIIT workout. So it's that 30-minute, 3 rounds of 10-minute hardcore, just slaughter yourself. So I went in on Monday morning and I was already starting to feel really uncomfortable. And 1 round in, as my body temperature is going up, I almost had to walk out of the gym, or at least go and sit in the bathroom in between the rounds and just take a break because it was so painful. And I felt really bad too because I had a friend there that had come to the gym for the first time ever to train with me, and here's me just dying. It was so painful. So thankfully, it happened a few days early because I would hate to have had that happen on the day of the shoot. Couldn't be any worse. So, it really kind of throws a spanner in the works because I had my lightest weigh-in on Sunday, and then, Monday rolls around and I'm back up 2 kilos on Monday, which is just crazy, and my stomach just feels rotten. So it kind of, I think something that I have noticed, not only for me, but for a lot of the clients that I've worked with over the years, is when you have It's one thing to see your weight go up on the scales, and it kind of, I guess, gives a lot of people this like unnerving, unsettling feeling, because it's like you're not in control of what, like, the reasons for why your weight's going up. You know, it's a hormonal response. So you see the number go up and it's like, ah. But when it's coupled with a significant amount of pain and or bloating, for people especially that suffer from IBS or any GI disorders, you can't really just stop thinking about it. Like I said, if you just see the number and you didn't have pain, but you know your weight just goes up because you hold a bit of fluid around that time of the month, it's like, okay, all right, that's all it is. But then when it stays with you for days because you've got additional pain at that time, oh my, it just makes it so much worse to try and just move on from it and just get on with your day. So I've really kind of had to mentally talk myself through this week and be like, you're going to be fine. You're going to be good. You're going to be great. So yeah, I'm a little bit stressed out because just how uncomfortable and gross, like, your body just changes. I'm just praying that by Friday I'll be back to looking like photo shoot ready, because I really was. On Sunday I was really psyched about it. So yes. The other thing that I wanted to share with you guys today is my resting metabolic rate data from USF and my body composition stats. So Layton and I went in last week to have an RMR and a body comp test taken. So one of the girls that's now kind of managing the Physique lab here at USF, I guess they have to make sure that they can produce reliable, repetitive results, so time and time again. So they have to do a certain number of tests to kind of make sure that when you're writing up research, that there is like a reliability factor kind of considered. Like, this person that's taking these tests is consistently able to show that their results are replicated. So we did one for her last week and we went back in again, but it's perfect timing for us since we've just kind of come to the end of this little fat loss stint. So this morning I went back in. Frustratingly, my weight is back up, like, heavier than it was last week, even though it's just artificially inflated, is what it is. But my resting metabolic rate results came in at 1699 kilocalories per day. So this is my measured energy expenditure at rest. So my actual requirements for energy throughout the day are actually going to be much higher, because that's me at rest. But then I also go and do my normal activity. I'm walking around, I'm training. So there is also that to consider. So it really goes to show you my maintenance calories right now are back where I had kind of predicted them to be, and it's right where Carbon Diet Coach has me sitting, which is really comforting and reassuring. So yeah, I guess that was a bit of an insight, because you know, you kind of go through transitions of your, I guess, journey where you're building muscle, and then you have your fat loss, and I'm used to seeing my resting energy expenditure quite low. Since the last time we kind of were taking them was back when I had just finished my shows. So I think it was sitting around 1400 or high 13s back then. That was a lot lighter too. So yeah, I jumped on this last time and I was at 1750 last week, and this week 1699. I don't think that would be a significant difference if we kind of ran that through an analysis. So that's good. It's really good. And I'm above what's predicted based on my lean body mass. So yeah, very happy with that. My skin folds and the ultrasound, which are used to measure your body fat percentage, showed me this week at 15.5% body fat. And then last week it was up at 16.3. So just in the last week, I've had a massive change. And just for comparative sake, when I was getting on stage last year in December, my body composition using the same two metrics, yes, it was a different researcher, but using the same measuring tools, I was down at about 11.5. So quite a bit of a difference between what I look like now versus when I get on stage. So this photo shoot, it's going to be, I think, tough for me to kind of get into it because I don't quite have that same level of confidence. And I think for anyone that, has been and competed before, like, I don't know, but it's really tough to kind of really be truly happy when you know that you could be leaner. But I think what's important for this is these aren't meant to be images that capture a stage physique. It's what's a realistic, normal body. So I'm sure I will be fine, but it's definitely going to require me to get out of my own head and just kind of enjoy that whole process. Let's jump in and have a look at my compliance for the last week. You'll be able to see a couple of little things that have happened. So we'll go back to me and all my data. We'll go to calories first. So my weekly 7-day check-in period is Tuesday through to Monday. So you can see there my target or my actual calorie intake came in at 1431. So a little bit above what my goal was. But again, I've been saying this for so many weeks now. I'm having some days on those targets and then other days just at my maintenance. So that's pretty good. Definitely in a deficit since we know based on that RMR or REE test that my resting metabolic rate is actually at 1700. So these calories are way below and would result in weight loss, which they did this past week. We'll go down and have a look at my protein intake. This is actually much higher compared to what I was meant to be. You can see there my weekly average is at 144 and you'll notice, 154, oh my goodness. So you can see there like my highest day is at 177 and I had a 165 yesterday. But I'm so like, I don't know, not paranoid, but just so conscious of not going over my carbohydrates and fats, especially fats, that I end up just gravitating more towards my proteins. So not a bad thing. It's got a greater TEF. So, I mean, if it was the other way around, I'd be concerned. But it just goes to show you I have no issues with trying to hit my protein. I really enjoy protein containing foods. Carbs came in this week at a whopping 130. Oh my gosh, that's so low. Okay, you can see there most of the week I was really compliant to my targets. You can see I'm kind of right in the 120s for the whole week, which was dead on. I had a slightly higher day on Thursday. I think I was just feeling the effects of the diet and I probably just had an extra bowl of cereal or something at the end of the day. So it's not like I was out having pizza or anything fun. It was just a bowl of cereal before bed. And then I did the same thing on Monday. That was the day I got my cycle. I was like, this is unrealistic for me to stick to these calories today. I am like ravenous. So I remember before bed, I had actually hit my targets for the whole day and it was probably getting on to about, I'm going to say 10 o'clock and I still had a little bit of work to do and I was at home. I think if I was here at the office, I probably wouldn't have had anything else to eat, but I was at home procrastinating and I was also very hungry because normally I'm kind of thinking about getting ready for bed at that time. So yeah, I got up and like had some like low fat popcorn and I think I also had a bowl of cereal with like a mix in, like a flavor added. So I had Rice Krispies and peanut butter powder. So yeah, that's why my targets went up on Monday. I was like, just take a day, Holly. Like take a day, just get back on it the next day. So that's why my carbs were a little bit up on that day. And then lastly, my fats. So Monday was, here we go. Sorry, my highest day was on Friday at 56, but overall my weekly average was 33. So pretty consistently eating low fats. Okay, so let's go and actually check in now with carbon. So I'm on the check-in page. Actually, I didn't take my weight today, so I'm probably just going to have to put in my most recent one that I took on Sunday. So checking in, were you compliant to your macro targets? Get out of the way. No, I wasn't. Actually, hang on, 1431. Yeah, I'm just a little bit over. So no, I was not. My current weight, I'll put in my weight from Sunday because that's the most recent one that I have. My body fat, I know because I had that done today, which was good. So 15.5, 15 and a half. Are you close to your menstrual cycle? Yes. Does everything look okay? Yep. Okay, so looks like things didn't go as planned. Nope, I was not compliant, but definitely made some progress nonetheless. So it's going to keep my targets the same, which is exactly as I expected. So I'll just do my very best to kind of hit those targets, I guess, throughout the week. And we'll see how I'm looking by Friday. So, yeah, I think that's probably about all for this week. Last week wasn't really exciting, to be honest. I think we just kind of got down to business, did the work. I think we went out on the boat on the weekend with the kids, so kind of just had to pack and plan, a few things that actually would help me to hit my targets. But overall, yeah, things have been going really, really well. So looking forward to getting to Miami, not looking forward to the drive to Miami at all, because it's just long and I hate sitting for long periods of time. But hey, it'll be fun. So I've actually got something fun planned while I get down there. I'm going to be catching up with a special guest. So we're going to be doing something fun from my YouTube channel. It might involve very fast cars on a very fast racetrack. I will say no more. I will see you guys at my next check-in, and hopefully I will have some info for you about how the shoot went and some video clips and stuff so that you can see kind of how that day went. So we'll see you next time.